Alright, today we are going over how to get bigger chest fast. Maybe I lied, but since we are talking about hypertrophy, if you can improve your training, then even the worst of the worst genetics can grow. And the dumbbell bench press. It's a simple choice. You have more option and freedom to adjust it for your own structure. And now let's go over the setup. Since you want to grow your chest, it would make sense to get as many chest fibers as possible involved in the exercise. And that is exactly the reason why we are using an arch. The arch is not there to protect anything. It's about getting as many fibers as possible working. So if I create a little arch, and since my rib cage is pretty much flaring out, I can get way more chest, is the middle and the lower chest involved in the exercise. Therefore, I can push more and create more mechanical tension, which is a lie because you can't create more mechanical tension. You can only create mechanical tension what the muscle fibers are going to experience. But this arch is going to be different from person to person, their own structure. So if I use a small arch, there's a chance that you don't have to use any arch because you just feel more comfortable and you are way stronger in that position. And the second one is your elbow position. The only thing you don't want to do is keep your elbows flared out to the side because it's not just your chest losing leverage, it's also going to limit the range of motion you can get just because of the nature of your shoulder. And it's not necessarily true. There are some people who have like different structure. It allows them to go all the way down, but even then, it is not going to be the best way to train your chest. You want to create an angle what's lower than your shoulder line, and again, it is going to be different from person to person, but your chest is using your rib cage as a pulley. So when you are at the bottom, your chest is going to pull your arm up, and when you are in line with your rib cage, it is going to pull your arm in. And even though when you are going in, there is not much load on you because you are pretty much parallel with gravity, but that's not necessarily the part what you are trying to train. It is going to be the bottom part when you are overcoming this. So there is going to be another mistake, not going all the way down. And I see many people ego lifting and then saying, oh, I can't grow my chest even though I'm using the 50 kilogram dumbbell. This is pretty much the reason why. Chest fly. You can use the cable or the machine. With the machine, you don't get to decide which part of the chest you are loading, but with the cable you do. I made a whole video about that. If you're using the machine, the only thing what can go wrong is at the top. If you're keeping a bent arm, you're decreasing the range of motion what you can get, and also this is not the part what you are trying to train, at least with the chest fly, because it is going to be this part. But with the bench press, that was the bottom part. So when you are here, imagine that your chest is attaching to your upper arm here. So you want to get these 2 points close together, and for that you have to get your arm straight when you are at the top. Or imagine that you are trying to get your biceps together, but when you are going back you can bend your arm because you want to decrease the amount of moment, arm and tension you get on your biceps just to protect it. It would also be ideal is when you are going back you create this angle where your elbow is lower down than your shoulder line, just to create more mobility and safety for your shoulder. And of course, this is the line where your chest like to work anyway. There is one good thing about having your arm bent, is that it is an indicator that you are fatiguing the exercise, at least your chest is fatiguing, or if you can't even get one rep with your arm being straight, then it means that the weight is just too heavy for you to handle. And the next one is chest dips. And even though this will murder your triceps, and I would even argue that it is better for your triceps than for your chest, even if you lean forward, then you might be wondering, why am I including it here? And the reason is simple. I spent way more time doing those two exercises and the chest dip to develop my chest rather than doing any other fancy exercises. And then I replicated the same thing with my clients and others, and it still got great results. It is going to be the same idea here than with the bench press, that you want to lean forward to get as much chest muscles involved as possible, and it's only because you can stimulate more growth across your whole chest. So lean forward as much as possible and go all the way down, but don't exceed your active range of motion. And the active range of motion only means that you go down, that you can without any weight stretching you further below. So if let's say that you can only pull your arm back here without any assistance, then this is your active range of motion. That being said, you don't have to do 3 to 4 exercises. Just pick 1 or 2, yes, even 1, and do around 3 to 6 sets with high intensity, close proximity to failure, and I promise you that your pancakes are going to grow. And it is not going to be fast, but gaining muscle has never been fast anyway. Just stick to what works, even if it's boring, because it works. And if you learned something from the video, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. For coaching, hit the link in the description. Talk to you soon.